Lovecraft Country on HBO, and I finally watched it to the end, and we watched the two last episodes, and I have to say I really enjoyed part 1 to part 9. However, the part 10, episode 10, was horrible. Really, really, really bad. It wasn't bad because it was bad edited or because the sound wasn't good enough. It was because it was written so bad. Something I've learned as a filmmaker is how important it is when you are writing a script. The script is everything. I met Gunnar Hansen, who played the leather-faced guy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he told me, Jonas, listen to me. Whatever you do when you're making a film, you have to look at the script. You need to rewrite if it's not good enough. And here's something that was the obvious thing. Of course you need to rewrite this one, because the part 10 of Lovecraft Country was hideous. There were some good things about it, but Lovecraft Country, the ending was so bad. I compare this one. In front of me is actually a fox. Let's see if we can see it. Maybe. Can't see it, but it's actually a fox over there in the night. Anyway, back to Lovecraft Country. I was so disappointed because the series is very good. What I don't like is when you have modern music in a movie, which is this series is taking place in the 50s, but they have music from the 80s, they have music from the 70s, and they do have music from the 20-somethings. And that's bad as well, because if you're watching a movie where you have people in correct costumes, they have correct cars, they have everything except wrong music. Me as a filmmaker, I really love making movies, and I really love to read other people's scripts. As a film producer, I get many scripts are sent to me by other filmmakers all over the world, and I read them. And if I find something I really want to make, I will contact and reach out to them and say, well, maybe you should do this movie. How? Because we need money for this kind of picture, and how much do you need? But I mean, I'm not familiar how much Lovecraft Country actually cost, but I believe the budget is way over the regular one, but I'm not sure. If you haven't watched Lovecraft Country, I truly recommend it because it's good and the story is interesting. It's about the white supremacy against the blacks during the 50s in the United States, and especially in Chicago. Boston. So, because they have everything. I mean, they got everything. They have the Miskatonic University, which is from Lovecraft, and they do have some magical books, and they have some mythos from from Lovecraft. But they actually trip on the finishing line, and that was that was so bad. How many of you have actually watched Lovecraft Country? Let's see. Because here's the thing. If you're making a horror movie or a horror TV series, I think many of the scripts are too long, and some of the scenes are way too long. Because when you're writing a scene, the average thinking is, well, 1 page, 1 minute. So if you're making a movie which is 100 pages, it's going to be 100 minutes in during the running time. However, if you're making a TV series, it doesn't need to be 1 minute for 1 page for 1 minute. So you can actually do some other stuff with the TV series, and many of the TV series, they actually stalling the time when you're watching it. Some scenes are way too long. The dialogue is way too long, and sometimes it just use many of action scenes, and then everything just went away, and it goes back to boring and dull conversation between the characters in the movie or the TV series in this particular way, like Lovecraft Country. I also watched House of Dragons. And the third, is it the third season? I'm not sure. However, the new season, it's so damn boring. It's not the actors that are boring. It's, how do you say it? If you're going to shoot an interesting TV series, you need to have cool effects, and you need to have nice flowing camera angles. You need to have interesting, like, if you have a moving camera, you're using all kinds of drones for making nice photography, aerial photography. However, if you're doing a scene where people are just talking to each other, you need to make this scene interesting. Otherwise, people would just move away. And that's something I just had to get out of my chest. Bad movies and bad TV series are way too. That's because they are way too long. It's the same when I watched June, the TV series of June. That was horrible. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but the reason nowadays the TV series are too long, too many seasons, and it never ends. Why? Because they really want to make it tick. TV series should never end. That's their motto. But if you have a TV series and you actually end the TV series in a good way and make a full feature afterwards, that's just fine. But today, the companies, they are afraid of new things. They are afraid to lose money. That's why they make so many remakes. And I'm so tired of remakes. I just begun to watch old movies, like old from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And it's the same. I just realize the problem is for movies and TV series today, it's slush. The sludge colors are horrible because they just ruin the movie by doing all the color grading. And when you're color grading and you do it, everything is blur in the background, and it's not even an interesting background, and the people, the characters, just keep on talking, and they're talking to each other, and it's cut reverse shot reverse shot, and it's maybe, if you're lucky, like a half frame picture, and it's so bad. I actually watched the behind the scenes of Casino, and that's Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is wonderful. He's great. He's one of the best movie directors there is. Sorry, there are. I also enjoy James Cameron, because Jim Cameron, he actually knows how to edit. He knows how to shoot, and he knows how to write. That's why I believe Aliens is the best movie ever. The script is so tight. And that's something many of the new filmmakers, they make movies and they forget how to make a good ending. What if you who are listening now, maybe some of you are actually filmmakers, what if you begin to make a movie with a good ending, with a great ending? The rest of the movie is crap, but the ending is super. I would love to watch that kind of movie. I really, really do. And that's what's the problem with Lovecraft Country. The ending was horrible. I like the character Christina in Lovecraft Country. And I love the thing that she could actually become a man or a woman. And she could become any kind of color as well. So in the end of Lovecraft Country, of course, she duped everyone, as usual. But it was too obvious. That's the great, or the big no. You shouldn't reveal it right away. And if you reveal something, you should have the actors act properly. Because they should be afraid, they should be scared, they should be wondering, oh, maybe it's not a real, it's not the Ruby in the end, it's actually Christine, and she has added a magical spell that makes her look like Ruby, like a doppelganger. But nothing happened. And that's something which makes me so sad. What's your experience with Lovecraft Country? I've been thinking maybe we should make a really cheap but a good, maybe a short, good horror here where I live, which is, this is our, sorry, no, I'm trying to get any, oh, here it is. Maybe we should make a horror movie in this environment. What do you think? I believe people will actually watch this. Because horror movies need great locations, good actors or actresses, and they need someone taking the pictures, the photographer or cinematographer, and the cinematographer needs to know how to make horror movies. A good example is actually making a movie with a lot of jump scares. That actually doesn't impress anyone today, because they get jump scares from video games, they get jump scares from TV shows and all kinds of stuff. And jump scares is just one way to frighten the audience. If you do it properly, you do something that the audience do not expect. That's more frightening. If you have a scene and you, like this, we are here, and just imagine, we just hear this sound, and suddenly we hear something like a scratch. So we move our camera where we can actually hear the sound, and we move closer and closer where the sound is coming from. And suddenly we are very close to that. But we let something else distract you, like a clonk. But it's not coming from this one. The sound you hear comes from this boathouse. And once you're near the boathouse, something else is crawling underneath the jetty. But you can't see it. But you hear it, and you can actually see the character responding to the sound. If you don't show a monster, but you can actually go down and shoot some point of view from here. So you have something crawling at the bottom, up here, and we're still going for a point of view. And then you have the actor standing here, listening to the sound and facing the other direction. So instead of staying like this, you have the actor staying here. So the audience sees what's happening behind the actor. And here's a trick. You can go for a jump scare, or you can just make the character look down and not facing anything. because it's lurking underneath the jetty. So the character doesn't realize where this creature is coming from, or the sound where it's coming from, because it's silent and it's underneath the jetty, and that makes it so much scarier when the character is actually walking on the jetty, and then we use the camera and we put the camera underneath and we shoot it through the cracks of the jetty. So we actually see the shoes from the other side. And then we still aren't going to see the creature. We hear the sound, but we can't locate where it's coming from. That's so much scarier than a regular jump scare. Something just jumping up from the jetty and grabs the character. Or you can have someone just ride a bike, which will distract the character, and then he will get grabbed. But that's something many of the filmmakers today have just lost. Good editing, how to make scary scenes, psychological scenes, psychological horror. It's way more scarier than actually jump scares. And of course, slashers with creepy characters in the woods. We have seen it thousands of times, so that's not very scary. But like using some leaves, and you might see something over there with the car, but you can just hear. You can't really see it. That's so much scarier.